Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's Pronago time. It's Cosmonoky devstream time. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. I just remembered I forgot to take my medication for my sickness. Because I'm down with the sickness. It's just a decongestant, so when I say medication, I feel like that makes it ambiguous and strange. And then I threw the wrapper away, and it did not enter my trash bin. We got Alexander and we got Skirmish Badger in the chat. I hope you guys are having a good day today. We got a workout. We got a short day. We got all kinds of stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting some more work done. I've already done a lot of work today. Don't get it twisted, but. What's up, Arniard? Yeah, the Star Sovereign gift package, dude. Oh, Arnie, maybe. How should I pronounce your name? I feel like maybe I've asked you this before, but is it Arnie, like French, or is it you just like Arnie? Is that fine? But yeah, that was apparently a very funny episode of Cosmocast. I hope Radmiral doesn't get too owned by it, but you know, doesn't feel too slighted by it. Listen, it's great. It's funny. Arnie is I okay. What's up, Jackie Langsky? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, glad you enjoyed the video. It was a little bit late today because I had to record it earlier today. Normally I record them a little bit in advance. At some point tonight, probably, maybe before or after my donor dev stream, because I'm going to do another Blood Summon implementation donor dev stream tonight. I'm hoping that I can do some... do another cast for tomorrow. But if not, I'll just have to do it in the morning or whatever. It's fine. Triple Hydra. For that, you need Gath on the double Hydra and then kill one. That's what you need. Okay. So... I will also say, since there's been some discussion on the Discord server, the Atreus remake, which hasn't shipped in a cast yet, but I have been seeing a little bit of. People are having some strong words about it, and some other people are not so sure it's actually that busted or whatever. So it is on my radar after that big remake. I'm not really intending to make it busted, obviously. I'm intending to make it thematic and cool and epic. And so, obviously, if it's like if it's designed so that it's supposed to be anti-swarm or something, but then it's also really good against armored stuff, then maybe that needs some adjustment, right? What's going on, Shane? Hope you're doing well. Did the Kefrel Kethraj hotkey conflict get fixed? No, I did not fix the hotkey conflicts. Oh, interesting. Chinese, Japanese, Korean. I think this would be... Jesse or Mimica thing to inquire about. Yeah. Pro will have to nerf it? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Hey, what's up, Zetsumi? Welcome. I saw that you just posted about your Chinese, Japanese, Korean patch. If you can share what that work looks like, we might be able to incorporate it into the game easily enough. But it would definitely be nice to add support for the characters, so that you don't have to type in English if you don't want to. I did ping the relevant devs who might be able to do something about that, though. 4:11 in the morning, late night gaming. What was your badass gaming crew? Yeah, so this is what we're talking about here. cat, by the way. So, if they can share that, that would be awesome. Being able to do that a little bit more would be wonderful. Wonderful, I say. Our font does include some emoji, but I don't think it really... We can adjust that, I'm sure. Deep lore. So today we're going to be working on some factional units. I want to implement the Alzurokor. Say it right. I think it'll be Infestation and Captivating Claws, which is the ensnare. I actually wanted to make sure that in the rendition of the Vord... Oh, this is the Garvokor. Let me go to the Adulterous Symbol. Yeah, Captivating is ensnare. Yeah, okay. So it's separate from Hidebreaker, basically, is what I was thinking. Interesting. I would have thought that the ensnare on hit thing would have been in weapon damage. Must be tied to the unit ID because the Garvokor uses the same weapon ID. We did get some development on weapon extension last night during the donor session where I implemented the Blood Summon Akwi. Which has a really demented placeholder graphic that I will absolutely have to replace. It doesn't look too bad, and then it moves. And then you're like, oh. Well, it specifically, it's not just that it moves, Oh, interesting. It's not just that it moves, it also does despicable things when harvesting resources. Well, you would definitely need to see if you could at least pass the review process for code health, but maybe we could take it over. Either way, yeah, if you want to polish it and then share it, feel free to. And yeah, Jesse actually was asking some questions about it on the Discord server if you want to answer some questions about it now or just let him know that you'll do it later. Okay, we're on 626 for our unit ID here for the Alzurokor, so we're going to go ahead and get that there. Where does this function come from? Okay, unit applies ensnare. Easy clap. Lucy and Shane were suggesting I make an Augustius announcer. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I can share with you the file at some point, maybe this weekend or something, for the for what the announcer template is, where like all of the different events or whatever. I don't think I have that anywhere, but. A Leanbic emoji implementation when you'd have to ask DF. All right, so the Alzurokor should handle business when it comes to the ensnare stuff now. Okay. This is also a case where we're probably going to have to... I think what we're going to have to do is find the Tetzorokor stuff here. So this is in weapon damage behaviors. We're going to do that. And then we're going to say... Saber Array is the HP factor. Yeah, okay. So, let's think about what we actually want the statistics to be, because I'm pretty sure we are going to need to deal with something there. Let's do Alzurokor's favorite array. Alzurokor. Okay. Fire up. Will we also get Imicren announcer? Oh yeah, you know, I didn't even really realize, but you're right, we do need an Imicren announcer. I mean, if that kind of follows the implementation details of a lot of stuff, if you guys don't know. When I made Water War, I made the Golden Republic announcer before publicly releasing it. So, for the mapcrap, I can't promise that based on the release cadence, but before it officially becomes part of the Lost Gods, yeah, I think we'll have to. If it's going to be a Lost Gods, it might not be, but I think it's an isolated enough vignette that is significant to the lore of the world, of the universe. I don't think it needs huge stats, Jack, because it has so much utility packed into it. And you still get infestation later on anyway, right? So if we look at the Alzurokor, we compare it to the Hydrokor, which is infestation stream. Yeah, this would be like predecessor. I don't think makes sense anymore. We should probably. I think we mostly get rid of it anyway. Alzurokor melee. So this one has not Zerg Saber Siphon, but Zerg Captivating Claws, and then Zerg. I can't remember off the dome if it's Devouring Instinct. Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. Check the patch notes here. So I did nerf the build time of all of the advanced morphs for Zerg, except for, I think, the Vith? No, I did the Vith too. All of the tier 1 advanced morphs, I should stipulate. I haven't really done the other one. Yeah, we did Bactylisk by 5 seconds, Teth by 4, Vith by 5, Ultra by 5, Zobrielisk by 10. I did cut the Zobrielisk resource costs, though. And the Zark by 5. The Lyrilisk was by 5, the Calc was by 5. I think that's everything except for the Vorv. Yeah, the Vorv stayed the same. And that's the only tier 1 morph that we didn't adjust. So, that being said, I think this guy should probably be a little bit more pricey on the... That's probably pretty good, honestly. I'll give him 4 armor. Where were we going with that? We were then going to go to the Teth Hydrokor melee, copy the stats there, and then Alzurokor melee.yml. Embracing. Embracing mandibles, dude. It's really wonderful. If we look compared to the Ultra Core, it's 25 damage. I think it can probably be the same attack speed. Splash damage. Maybe have it be 10 or 15 or so. Because it's also ensnaring or reduce the enemy debuff. If I keep the same armor pen. No, weapon extender is not done. What I was saying about the weapon extender earlier is that we got some good progress on it during the donor stream. That answer a question for DF real quick. Yeah, we're definitely getting pretty close to it though. So progress is good. I went from crashing every time the Cantavis casted Hallucinate or any other like weapon-based ID was done through an ability cast to not crashing at all, and the abilities work fine. Air attacks seem to work, but if you issue an air attack order targeting a unit outside of your weapon range, like you have to move to attack it, then that doesn't work, that crashes the game. And units that can't attack ground units for whatever reason. So both of those cases are buggy, and so we just have to keep on investigating it. I just haven't set aside time for that right now. Since we're on a timetable for the... I don't know if I can get all of these factional stuff taken care of. Like, the Imicren Tendril one is basically done now. All we have to do is hook up some details about the unit itself and make sure the graphic is pointed to correctly and all that. But... yeah, the Shaman variant and the Morrigan might be a little bit more convoluted to implement. Certainly you're going to need model work. The Sacred Saber Gladius is going to need some model work. Goszirith Tendril waiting on the Hydralisk to get some shading updates from Solstice before I start working on it. Though it wouldn't really be that big of a deal if I had to adapt over the shading changes, I think. But I guess I can implement the 2x Hydra pretty easily, so maybe I'll do that after the Alzurokor. And that will leave me with the Gladius that I have to do for my submission, and then the Upstart stuff for... it's Hamster and the Night Fox are using that, so... I was thinking about Shambler for some reason. The reason I'm thinking about that is because when he was playing Day of Blood, he was really excited about the idea of having the Shaman variant that stims your units. Well, actually, I don't really know how the Zeth birth animation is done, for example, because it's rendered out that way. So I probably would need to modify that. So I'll have to take a look at how the Zeth is done at some point if I want it to be... if I don't want to hand animate it, basically. Or just, like, if I don't want it to, like, birth one Hydra and then a second one fucking manifests on top of it. Which would happen if... it was doing anything else. Alright, so the Embracing Mandibles are done. That means that we have to go into CM utils, tap the Alzurokor, or no, Saber Array, return unit ID equals unit ID Alzurokor, question mark, or I guess tap the Alzurokor. We gotta go into new requirements. We have to find Ultracore. We have to remove the Alzurokor case. And then we have to do this and say Alzurokor. And then say Alzurokor. So scroll down here. Good. Yeah, and this one has to be if faction does not equal faction Imicren Tendril. Oh, I guess we have to do this a little bit differently, actually. We have to do it the other way. And then we have to find the Ultracore in here. Is this part of the Oxal season? Yeah, the Oxal array. So we have to say if faction equals faction Imicren Tendril, current button state equals disabled or button state. Then duplicate that and say it is for the Alzurokor. If it does not equal that, then do that. Otherwise, do that. It doesn't look like we do anything about the button set for it, though. Okay. Yeah. Slightly different ways of doing the same thing. I'm not going to enforce a style on that right now. It's a mess. So let's do 626, make the button set for it. Alzurokor. I don't know what that means. Oh, big sick cow, yeah. I get it. Let's do this. Interesting. Okay. I guess the I wanted to make sure that the burrow animation was there, but let's do a Hydrokor. The button set for the Ultracore doesn't seem to be there anymore, probably because it's not called that anymore, I guess. That kind of makes some sense. It's probably called like basic commands plus, well, it's like Saber, Siphon, but it's Saber, Siphon, and Kaiser Rampage, right? Oh, it is here. I don't know why it wasn't coming up when I was searching. Do I have... Yeah, I do have wraparound, so I don't know about that one. That was weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're burrowing fine. Let's go to our units. Find Ultracore. Interestingly enough, I could never make Ultracores with... Alzurokors. You guys really liked enjoying that man's suffering. SMH, you know? SMH. Okay, so this is taken care of. Then we're going to go into burrowing. And we just have to add the Alzurokor to the list. Welcome, George. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're not too dead from laughter. Let's go to unit ID real quick. Okay, yeah. Just making sure. What's up, Fenris and Beaver and Zorthrakor? Hope you guys are doing well. I think that should be all that there. Oh, there is one more thing I have to do in the plugin that I'm aware of that I can immediately, like, intuit. And that is, Zerg units have a funny thing where they're, like, morph source. Yeah, it's stuff like this. So, the Alzurokor is like it, but the morph result... Well, this is building morph result. Yeah, unit morph source, or unit morph result is, like... Alzurokor. Yeah, just gotta add that there, basically. And then there's, like, a factional regression thing, too. So we should search for... If we search for the Ultracore unit ID, we should be able to find everything where we're supposed to plug in the... Oh, wait, no, that's not what I want to do. Yeah. Search for the Ultracore case. There are going to need to be some weapon changes we make in the plugin as well, since we're still having to fake that. Apparently we have to forbid them there. Get factional regression. Oh, okay, that's for... Well, we actually don't need that anymore. We can say... Because those two are separate now, so we don't need to worry about that. And then if we go to CMIDs, collides with Titanic, sure, add that there. Delete that. That's unrelated. Kaiser Rampage, okay. Button set stuff, requirements. Weapon cooldown makes sense. Okay. So now we just go to... We go to here, we find where we added the Alzurokor thing. Made it 15 damage. The Tetzor attack is 9 damage, so we're going to go ahead and take care of that. The attack speed is also changed, and cooldown has armor pen. Don't ask me why. And then... Excuse me. So now we got to figure out the ratio between 0.58. So if you go to the Alzurokor melee and we go 7.5, yeah, so go into here, percentage calculator, 0.75 to 0.58. We're looking at 22%. So we're increasing the attack speed, which means we multiply. I'm going to round up, actually, and say 1.23 instead of 1.22, and the reason for that is, according to the tooltip, this frequently needs more work done on it every time, as opposed to it being straightforward. Now, we've done all of the plugin things that I am aware of that we need to do right now. Yeah, we increased the 0.75. Yeah, okay. So that's as far as I can go for that, I think, in the plugin. But we can go ahead and define the unit entry a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to say, let's open, I don't think we're going to need weapons, but just in case we click the AI field and fucking blow up, let's open the weapons, otherwise it'll break. Okay, so we need Goszirith Alzurokor, and this is for the Imicren tendril. We'll go into unit names. Say Goszirith Alzurokor. Ground units. And then while we're here, we might as well do Goszirith Goszirith tendril. We're going to call it something else than Hydralisk because it's tiny, so... Hydroling, obviously. Dude, what if they're melee? Hydrokor. Where is Mike Pro? That's a good question. Here. Mike is above the Nutcracker, next to Mini Mike, and below the Crow. I hope that explained everything you needed to know. Gorg meta, OP Hydras, everyone can make workers from secondary buildings, idle on OP. Yeah, hit him up once, the worker meta again, but I think he would play it and then be like, oh man, people are really good still. And then, you know what I mean? Like, his issue seems to be that he could get away with meme builds before and now he can't, and I don't think the meta really has anything to do with that. Because he said, like, yeah, top players could be memers. But he meant himself. Nobody else was trying to meme. Nobody else was trying to style on hit him up. That wasn't happening. So that feels a little revisionist to me. Mike is now dad? No, that's his cousin. I mean, I think if people want the worker meta, they gotta make it, you know? They gotta prove that it's still really good. And it might still be. We might organically get back to a high worker count meta. And I'd be okay with that. But it just got solved pretty hard into that. And that was actually leading to pretty ugly games. So even though people are gonna say that they look fondly at those times, and you could get up to big worker counts, you actually had way more death balls back then. And there wasn't really an answer to them. Because the economy scaled up way too fast. What's up, Sausage? Hope you're doing well. And Fast Ones. Welcome. Mini Mike? Yes, there is Mini Mike. Mini Mike reveal. Okay. Hydrokor. Or Hydrokor. Well, Rokor is the suffix, right? Maybe they'll be faster moving, more brittle, and 3 weapon range, just like the IZ. Or 2 weapon range, so you put them in front of the IZ? That doesn't really make sense. But 3 is the cutoff for Rokor, so I can't make them any higher. Magnum Mike. Magnum Mike? That feels like a porn star name. Yeah, Zethalisk probably would be it. Yeah, if Magnum Mike is a reference, I don't get it. But that's okay, I don't have to. Okay, so we decided this guy would have 4 armor, but cost 200, 250. and have less sight range than the Alzurokor does. Honestly, I feel like the Alzurokor itself shouldn't have big sight range. But whatever, not that huge deal. Definitely going to shorten the sight range of the, lower the sight range of the Hydrokor. 50, 0 armor, 25, 25. Actually, is it more thematic if they don't cost gas? Because they're melee units now? I don't know, they're probably going to have pretty good... They're going to have, like... I'm going to give them at least 3 armor pen, I think. So they're going to be pretty good versus that. But, I don't know. I'm not sure. Mostly they're going to be like a hit-and-run type unit. You might still want them to cost some gas. A cheap and ground version of the Mutalisk? Like the Lyralisk? I'll come back to the Hydrokor later. But I do have to tick 2 units in 1 egg. Okay. I think we've taken care of business there. So now we go to Flingy and we find Alzurokor. And we say EXT. Alzurokor. Hydrokor, Goszirith. I can't do Zethalisk for Cody because they already have they have Zethalor, actually, right? Oh no, that's the... Who's got Zethalor? No, yeah, it is them. It was Zethalor. But it's an evolved Zethrakor, so... Maybe that is valid then. Maybe we do Zethalisk for our Cody. That'd be fun. Hydrothalor. Well, they already kind of have Hydrothalor, although it's 7 range and not an artillery unit. Bactathalor. Factional Bactalisk win, dude. Okay, well, we're not actually implementing the Orcody one anytime soon, I think, but it's there. The concept will be there. I'll go ahead and add it to the enum and everything. Actually, I won't add it to the enum because then I would have to PR it, and I don't want to do that. Zerg. What is this? The Hydrokor. Alright. We'll come back to the Hydrokor a little bit later. First, I will go back into GPTP, and we're gonna... Actually, I'm gonna untick that one line. Because I think we'll have everything related to the Alzurokor as one commit, and then we'll do the Hydrokor later. Bactrokor. What's up, Shambleman? I'll go ahead and start creating entries for some of these other guys, though. Like, I guess, so the next thing I have to do is, so the Shaman and the Morrigan, the Upstart Shaman and the Morrigan already have entries. So we need the Gladius variant here. And then our work here is done. So maybe we say... The Golden Republic Eidolon. I think Ajax already exists for Futurist. So Catalan variant, Citrus, Federation, Ajax, placement. And then we have the Orcodi tendril. This is the Zethalisk. And then Zorthos Tendril should just get its, I mean, it gets a lot of Screelyleth shit, and, you know, Eblyleth, Screelyleth, Zetryleth, but it should get something more, like, default, I think, like, actually related to its combat unit tech tree, and not just a meme. Although they're probably pretty good. So. Georgokor. Flying Ethic, yeah. Crabs take flight. I would say the Zorthos Tendril should probably just get its Lakes finally implemented. These two were already existing, the Ajax and the Lakes variant already existed as concepts. I just need to make time to actually crack whatever Lard code is preventing additional burrowed attackers from existing. Technically, the Zobrialisk attacks while burrowed, but it's super hard-coded. It's not attacking through like an iScript attack or whatever. I just need to do some more work on the idea of a burrowed attacker more elegantly. I could probably fake it for the Zorthos Lakes if I had to, but these are going to be for, you know, maybe September or something. This probably won't be stuff that we do anytime soon. Something like that, probably. Okay, so let's see where we're at with the Alzurokor. I need to point the flingy entry here. Alright, we have 712. Yeah, I was in the middle of copying over the Ultracore idea, but then I didn't actually do it, so that's funny. This. Let's say this. I will create entries for the other stuff too. Birth and Remnants. But we will be having those be copy-pasted from the Ultra. I'm not going to attempt to recolor those right now. I might inform Roller Skates, since he did the recolor for the Ultracore, for the Alzurokor, I should say, that maybe he can take care of business there on that guy. All right, and then we have 713 for the Goszirith Hydrokor. Alzurokor remains, Hydrokor remains. Forgot those had to be done up that way. As a sprite, I mean? Yeah, for Ultracore Remnants. There you go. I know I could find it in that general area. And then images, 2441. Then we have Hydrokor, Goszirith, Shadow, Birth, Remains, Mutate. Now time to paste everything from here. Go to these new entries. Actually, don't really know what image ID we use them. Oh, I guess we didn't have one before. Gotta make a default one then. I've also posted my personal webpage translation work in the Discord. Oh, thank you very much. What's all that? Banana, says Sleeper. Welcome, Sleeper. I hope you sleep well. GG Zetsume, thank you again for your work. I'm looking forward to that. New sprites are looking hella fine. Oh yeah, I'm very. Oh shit, he actually has a Korean version of it. What a Chad, dude. Manual Korean translation of cosmonarchy.com. That's so good. I guess if he wants to maintain it himself or whatever, it would be cool to see him. It would be cool to link him that, but obviously it would be best auto-implemented into the website where you can just click a button for the different localities or whatever, localizations. Yeah, I'm really proud of Balethal. Really happy to have Balethal in the community. He has done huge work. Huge work. Impossible to understate. Crazy good work that he's done. So really happy to have him, that's for sure. So we do have Hydralisk-Mutate here. And it does work. It does exist. So let's go to images.tbl. And we'll say cm zerg, or just zerg Hydralisk-Mutate.grp. And then we'll say cmfz Alzurokor.grp. Shadow.grp, and then Hydrokor.grp, and Hydrokor Shadow.grp, Hydrokor Birth.grp, Mutate.grp, and Remains.grp. Because we can do the Hydrokor since we have model control of it. Alright, so now we should be able to close... Oh, we gotta see about the Flingy. Oh yes, the Flingy entry here should be 1179. Follow it all the way through. Very cool. Alright. Let's do the... Let's at least copy over the Gladius. I think that's amusing. All right. Okay. All right, now we can close that, and now we can... Where am I? Okay, that was way off where I was supposed to be. So now what we can do is we can jump back into images.ex, and we can come on down here to Hydralisk-Mutate, pick that one. Alzurokor and Alzurokor Shadow are the only graphics that we care about for this particular case, although the Shadow really doesn't even need to be different either. And then for the Hydrokor, we'll go ahead and do this. Hydrokor Shadow. Hydrokor Birth. Hydrokor Remains. And Hydrokor Mutate. So... Only problem here is that we need to go to like Quasilisk-Mutate or something. We just need to copy this, paste it, And then come down here and do Hydrokor mutate, and then come down here and do Hydrolysk mutate. And the reason why we need to do that, we also have to go into image ID here. Hydrolysk mutate. Hydrokor mutate. All right, we have to do that, and then we have to find Alzurokor mutates image ID entry, and then we need to find where it is invoked. Yeah, right here. All right, so that will take care of the mutation stuff. So in order for us to actually have a working launch to the game now, because I already defined the, I already defined things for the Hydrokor. I need to render out the Hydrokor then, so we're going to wait until this opens up. We're also going to look at the Goszirith tendril. I think if I remember correctly, dark achromatics. Yeah, they're kind of like gray. So that's kind of a cool, I think that's kind of a cool color idea. What is that? Sound holdout, okay. If you say so, buddy. So, we are here to look at the finger and say FT Hydrokor. And then FT Hydrokor. Just realized we have to add a little bit of something there. Okay, I'll go to shading. I don't know why this is even over here, to be honest, but... I just wanted a slight green tint if I can. If I can. Just a little bit of a really desaturated green tint. Okay. Obviously the other big deal here is to make it a much smaller graphic. So we're going to say like 52 pixels maybe even like 48. Really tiny. Bitty bitty. Okay, let's output that GRP and see what we get. Because we don't have... There's only player color on the Alzurokor, first of all. And on the Vorvorkor as well. The old Zeth and the current Vorv are pretty bad for anything other than player color. Everything is player color. Itty bitty. I'm guessing the burrow is hilariously tiny. All right, rendering out the shadow real quick. Remains of mutate and birth as well, and that will cover our launch. Right now, they don't have any changes to the attack, and that's fine. I'll figure that out a little bit later because we're actually not really trying to test them per se. So the default Hydralisk I script should be fine. What are we missing? EMF-Z Hydrokor. Well, apparently we went to FT? What the fuck? It's not a factional Terran unit. Apparently, yeah, I autopiloted. Sorry, my new Terran unit, the Zerg. When the Futurists finally control Zerg. This time, guys, I swear. They used one of the spitty flaps instead of one! Did you hear that, guys? One! There he is. Okay. Does not have the correct, has the Aqui button set for whatever reason. Yeah, we are not doing the right work on the... We have to divide, I guess, instead of multiply. Yeah, that makes sense. This is cooldown. I misunderstood that one. We'll check. We'll test that in a moment. Hydrokor. Look how tiny it is. He's got to move a lot faster. It's itty bitty. Okay. So the shadow isn't being done correctly because the. Let me just see if I could even do this one. Hydralisk shadow. Okay, yeah, I can. So I can go into the Hydralisk in it, and I can say, I'm called next ID, and then it will work correctly. Let's go into our GPTP. We'll go to the unit speed, find the Ultracore. It's 1.2 FP. So we'll find Zerg. Alzurokor, and we find Hydralisk. Yeah, I think the Hydrokor is also due for that. We go to weapon cooldown. Where's the Alzurokor that we added? And divide instead of multiply. Futurist equals UED. That's for the faction that I'm going to use for the UED when they show up in the Brood War campaign, yeah? In the Sovereign Saga Brood War campaign. I'm honestly on the fence about even doing the Sovereign Saga Brood War campaign because Brood War is, in my opinion, Brood War is just flat out worse than vanilla. Maybe the micro missions are definitely worse. And the story is way worse. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Put it that way. But maybe the macro missions are memorable enough to counteract that. Obviously, it would be really cool to have Omega in Sovereign Saga, so that makes it you want to do it. Some of the UED missions are pretty memorable. So, in the past, I've just said as if it's a fact that I'm going to, and so I probably should just commit to it now when I'm thinking about it. But that's far into the future, you know. We'll be lucky if Rebel Yell releases by the end of the year. That would be a huge achievement for us. So I will be endeavoring to try to make that possible, but you know, we're gonna have Sovereign Saga map 3 out of like 12, by the way, because there's the bonus missions too. So we gotta remember that. We do have to fix the button set issue for the Alzurokor, and I don't think this guy even has a button set. Yeah. Selection circle needs to be adjusted, but he's speedier, so that's good, and his shadow's correct. Yeah, he's not pointing in the right death animation because he doesn't have his own eye script. But that's fine, that's for later. So, attack speed is back on the Alzurokor, and that's very good. Let's go into buttons. Down here we have 626 for the Alzurokor. We did not set it to 629 for his button set, so that's really silly. Go into the Hydralisk. I think we might be able to just take the Hydralisk. We're not adding any ability or anything. I thought about giving them... I did think about giving them something kind of special, but I don't think we need to be honest. And then I guess while I'm at it, I can quickly see which unit ID I've keyed out for the Zethalisk is 30. Because I don't mind doing this kind of data work or whatever real quick. This is super easy. Oh, it's actually the inverse. This is 8. And this is 9. Because the Golden Republic isn't featuring in the thing. Okay, so let's find Gladius in this list. Do that. Was the upstart, was the Morrigan? Yeah, the Morrigan's supposed to be able to do that. Five, 7, 5. He is so small. We do need more good camping. You're right. That we do. Okay. We should be good here. Let's do a mix of that. Be able to close this guy down for now. Okay. That should be good. Graft again, and then... all right. Last step here. Go into wireframe. Grab the wireframes for these new units. So we have 66 and 67. So we're going to need to make it so that it has the backdelisk button manually. In GPTP, we're going to go to button sets, find backdelisk. This is for okay, so we should go find like in Zorthrakor or whatever. Actually, it should probably be part of the, if we go to the Izirokor or whatever, there's definitely Izirokor. Yeah, there's this, right? So we could basically duplicate this, delete that, Hydrokor, backdelisk, and then we actually have to find, so we should say player has completed unit ID, ski backed, scab, or player has unit ID, test fifth, swamp. The reason why we do completed for the scab is because it must have that no matter what. It must have this has to be completed in order to give the tech, and this only has to be in any state, and it'll be good. I don't know why it's yelling at me, though. Okay. I thought I did that already. Oh, the issue is because I didn't do unit player. That's why. Pranked. Okay. So this should work for the button, but for new requirements, we also need to find backdelisk. Hydrokor. Oh yeah, I guess this might actually be the only reason why that's not doing that properly. Part of oxal larva. Okay, let's test that. Yes, Goszirith has cheaper backdels at tier 1 because of the way that the Hydrokor works. The Goszirith tender. Alright, those are my electrolytes for the day. I think I'm going to take a bathroom break pretty soon. But I believe that barring implementing the command icons real quick, which I can do relatively easily by doing this, and then doing that, and grabbing these. Say unit icon, and then we know that this is 66 and 67. Game icons are what, 929 and 930. And then this is going to be 638, 639. Hello, Adam. Welcome. You just got waved at by Jack Alinsky. It probably doesn't look like it, but you did. All right, so we've done the icons. I believe the grafting is going to be fine. We should be able to use the Hydrokor to make a Bactylisk now. Well, oh, I know why we can't do it yet. It's because we forgot to add the Hydrokor. Well, it's not that we forgot to. We were going to do the Alzurokor a little bit differently, right? So we wanted to do it as separate commits, but let's see if we can do that sensibly here. I think that's fine. Image ID. Yeah, so we'll untick this. We unticked this line. We can undo that. Utils, button sets. Untick that. Speed. Untick that. Speed. Yeah, I don't want to get confused by what I've done and what I haven't done or whatever. Okay, so this is implement Imicren Alzurokor. Oh, we didn't do one really important thing, and that is replace, what is the faction, requests. Yeah, get factional unit ID. So we have to go into here and say that the Imicren Tendril indeed has Ultracore as Alzurokor. We'll add that. And then I think it's under like is factional. And then we just have to add those there as well. So we have to say that. Okay. So we'll say implement Imicren Alzurokor. And now we can tick everything, and then we can finish what we were doing, which was Hydrokor. Oh, Bactylisk already does it right because they are Cody Hydra. And then yeah, this is the thing that didn't that was missing for the ability to actually train the unit. Excuse my coughing. I'm a vampire. So this is 1181 and 1180. I don't care about that right now. Button sets, okay. Yeah, so this is some more code we have to do for the Hydrokor. Zerg, Goszirith. Already did that there. Yeah, so some new requirements are going to need to be added as well. This is just basic stuff at this point. This is an and. Already did that. Okay, I think we're good to go, but let me just quickly take a look at the new requirements diff here. We have the Cody stuff. That's the hidden stuff. Yeah, and that was a negation, so that's fine. Yeah, I guess one problem here is that I didn't actually have the Goszirith code here. Okay. All right, so we should be good now for everything there. We also, in addition to doing all of the Hydrokor code in this, what will be this next commit here, we also were able to build the we were also able to fix up the corpses. I don't know what you mean by that, Alexander. The Hydra coming out in 2 and morphing into 1? Is it a visual bug? Was it reported earlier? I may have missed it in the deluge of blood summon reports. Oh, the Hydra comes out. Okay, well that's really funny because that means that the Hydra... That's just an issue that Balathal has to fix. That means that the birth that we have for the Goszirith Hydra is correct. The Hydrokor is correct there. I let Balefal know just now. Hopefully he can fix it up soon. Okay, so we still have some DAT work to do, obviously. The Hydrokor needs selection circle stuff. They have their wireframes. And it needs the weapon handling. Oh, that's going to need some code as well. I'm going to reduce the... I might just make it so that he still uses needle spines, but he has to get into melee range. I think that would be pretty funny, actually. If we go into the Hydrokor here, we set its target acquisition range to 3 because it's going to be a melee unit, right? And then we go into range. What is needle spine range? 5. So 4 tiles. That should be all that I need to do for its weapon then. Let me come into the... I don't actually know what the weapon, the cooldown will be yet, so we're gonna build that first. Yeah, that's because it was called the Quasrock Pool back then, so probably not going to change anytime soon. The odds of me being able to retake that one line and have it be indistinguishable. Or that one syllable. But maybe I can stitch something together if I say Zeth at some point. I don't remember if I do. You just have to deal with that, I think. Have to accept that incongruity. Till I get around to overhauling the sandboxes a little bit more. 6, 2, 6, 4, 7.
There is no room for further failure.
Oh yeah, they're probably too big too. Yeah, they need to have a collision size decrease. So this is four. You know, grabs. 4 grabs versus... Hey, a Matador is pretty tanky, right? Yeah, they'll do a little bit better at that when they are not dealing with... when they don't have the collision size issue. What the fuck? The Quas has more collision than the Hydra? Today I fucking learned. Adulterous Unk status. Oh, for sure the Quadrocor wins this fight. No shot. It's actually a little bit closer than I thought it would be. Also, you remember you're getting dual births for stuff. But... Nah, it's about the same. This does show Quas-OP. Yeah, but these units are way faster, so I think there's a trade-off there. Time will tell. Give Pronago one set of tools and see what the fuck happens, dude. I will reduce their attacks, or yeah, reduce their cooldown, increase their attack speed a little bit, though. I like the idea that it's a little bit better. Oh, it's very funny. But also, it'll be quite terrifying. Do you ever play against a Goszirith, Have you ever play against a Goszirith AI and they have like 40,000 Hydras? That's another thing that we should change in our data, of course, is our AI script stuff has to now account for the new units. So, is the Garvacor not implemented? It says it is, but it doesn't look like it's implemented according to the AI, which is kind of funny. Say Hydrokor, Alzurokor, Goszirith, and then say Alzurokor, Alzurokor. Yeah, I thought I was pretty sure it was. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this. And then I think the only other thing that we wanted to do was quickly make it so that it actually invoked its own death animation when it died. So we'll go ahead and take care of business there. Oh, Alzurokor is not found, boys. We gotta add that. So if we go into the unit def, Zerg factional units, 2.6 and 2.7 for Alzurokor and Hydrokor. And then there's the Zethalisk. It's going to be 630. We can go ahead and add this here. And then for the Orkoti, go ahead and put that in there. Just because that way I leave myself the hint that that unit is supposed to be enabled when it is implemented. Oh, the Zorthos also has the Azanthrocore, no? Or is that the... Something has the Azanthrocore. I thought it was the Zorth. I guess it is not. Yeah, the Orkoti. So that needs to be here. That is... Oh, no, it is here. Okay, never mind. Reminds me of the question, would you rather fight 5 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? Yeah. Zethalisk has just been made. Not yet, not yet. I will do it, though. I will do it. Just not right now. Okay, I think we are good to give it another run to make sure that everything besides the iScript stuff is taken care of. Let's see. One was... Yeah, they survive with about the same level of health, which is interesting. We'll do 5. See how it is. I mean, it's a melee unit. It's not going to be that strong, right? So. Okay. So now, images, Hydrokor. So let's go to the iScript Zerg. And then the ISID is 844, apparently. Excuse me. And then we're looking at the Hydrokor remains, and we're saying 2445, but it's tied to 1181. Find the death animation. 181. CMFZ Hydrokor remains. That should be pretty good. Obviously, we might want like a custom sound effect and some more weapon stuff, but it's fine. The co-founder of the Zethalisk. Hell yeah, dude. They cost 75 minerals, 25 gas, so you get a pair of them for cheaper than a single Hydra. If you think about each one, you get so that was the plan. I could keep them at 50-25. Probably would make sense, actually. So I think we'll probably do that. Again, they're a melee unit, so it might be really strong in specific rushes or whatever. But I'm willing to take that risk for now. There you go. Zethalisk does exist. Okay, we are looking now to confirm that the death animation plays correctly. Yeah, the Zethalisk is the upgraded Zethalisk, as God intended. Script 844 does not exist. Why does Script 844 not exist? Excuse me? I'm pretty sure I made it exist. Fraud? Nah, the Zethalisk will have something else going on for it. Don't trust me, dude. I know what I'm doing. Oh. The mutation animation does not appear to work. That's something to check. Yeah, okay. Well, that's something to deal with. Wonder why? It should be working because we do the same code. Oh, maybe there's something in the, I don't know. It's weird that it would break for both of them, though. This is what we need. Figure out where this is at. Get mutate image ID. Oh, I remember this bug, actually. It's kind of dumb. Oh, maybe not? Oh, yeah. This is it. Quazman taught me to respect a Quaz. Okay, that should take care of that. Oh, I guess the Alzurokor also needs that handling. And the Alzurokor also needs that handling, okay. Okay. I'm going to recompile with those changes, and then I'm going to go to the bathroom because I really got to pee. So, be back in a moment. Is the Zabalba the feature setting of Cosmonarchy? I just got back. I have successfully used the restroom and planned dinner, and I think we're good to go. Yeah, we were just gonna test to make sure that this actually works now. Yeah, it does, boy. And then 627. Okay, and it does seem like the death animation is working. Very nice, boys. Hello, Godwee. Welcome, homie. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Cosmonarchy is supposed to be way far removed. Like, the Cosmonarchy setting is way far removed from StarCraft 1's events. Which is funny, because we have Sovereign Saga, but... Oh.
I'm winning this back, BTW.
Hell yeah, dude. So for those who are not aware, we did get $18 combined from Zetsume and Gumtu. Yesterday's stream, I believe that was. So Godwee just sent in $7, and that actually technically fills us up. But those were YouTube Super Chats. I might not get them for a while. So if anybody wants to send in $18 now, that would be acceptable. We would be okay with that. I guess the only other thing to do in GPTP is to set the weapon name, right? Fruchtfisk, how you doing? Yeah, so I had so many plans for what would happen after in Consummate. And then I ended up doing a bunch of AI experimentation, like computer, not artificial intelligence, fucking ChatGPT. I did an experiment with Project Hydra that was mostly focused around like multiplayer co-op design with a lot of modded AI, like CPU stuff. Game AI stuff. And so that was in 2017. 2017 in Consummate came out. Then the end of 2017, I was working on Project Hydra. That went into 2018. We released it. It was pretty cool. We released it for Rebel Yell. And then I was like, no, I'm not happy with it. I want it to be even better. And so I started making what turned into Cosmonarchy with all the unit changes. And now here we are, fucking like 8 years later, right? Like from 2018 to 2026, and Cosmonarchy's fucking epic. But that does mean I never finished the tale about in Consummate. So. Okay, bye, Godwee. Thanks for the dono. But Strawlium is, Goska's the founder of the Nidus Trinity. Oh yeah, Beaver did make, Beaver made, Strawlium show up there. But Strawlium does exist.
Yes. We move. We go.
And then he can also, instead of what he used to have, where he had like a spore attack, he can spawn a bunch of Screerocore, a Scourge. I guess he should be a Sire, so that doesn't happen where they time out, but...
We go.
And Goska's here too.
I'm here. Moving. Going.
So it's pretty cool. I am making stuff and enjoying myself. I appreciate you. Should I call you Frucht for short? Fisk for short? Yeah, let's just say there's a non-zero chance that at some point within the next calendar year, you'll see content with those two characters. I have no idea what we would even... Imagine we go from Sovereign Saga to like an inconsummate make. You know what I mean? You don't think Sires refill scree energy? Well, if that's true, then that's a bug, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's because unit ID. Well, that was easy fix. Okay, let's go back to our code. Game hooks. Untick that because that's unrelated. Oh dear, what did we do now? This is some enum thing for sure. I think. Maybe not. Did I just, like, delete something improperly? Oh, yeah, it's this. Okay. That makes sense. GG, Adam. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Is Vithrilisk supposed to be a sire? I know it technically makes it, but... yeah, it's not even marked as a sire, dude. I guess it makes sense for them to be if the Zorius is supposed to be, so... Alright, that means that we have to go to the Vithrilisk. Okay. Yeah, so Sovereign Saga, for those who don't know, is our Cosmonarchy remake of the original Starcraft campaign, starting with Rebel Yell, of course. Be the third time I've tried to remake some of this Rebel Yell stuff. I did complete the first attempt. The second attempt was like a remake of that for Hydra, and then this will be the third time, so... you know, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? So that's what I'll do. And then I'll actually do all the other ones. But it would be pretty cool to go from finishing up Sovereign Saga to then, like, redoing Inconsummate in Cosmonarchy. I don't know how soon I'll be able to do something like that, because I also have, like, original content that's new that I want to make. But I think that would be really fun. I guess so. I actually don't know if that's super true, but I guess like a lot of the high-profile releases are there. And you're right, Beaver. It does have cool implications for Map 1. I was pretty excited about coming up with that change. What are we doing here? Faction. The presence of some of the other stuff, yeah, the Goszirith hasn't been merged yet, I believe. Let me just double check that. Maybe, Jack. I thought the Goszirith was implemented, though. Or was merged. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Oh, no, I think what happened is I removed this multiplier, and I just made it so that they attacked with the same speed, so never mind. Apparently I'm a goober. That's why it's not there. I was pretty confused by that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and publish that branch. And we can close this down. And we can go to Power Preview. And we can refresh this page and then make a merge request. And then Imicren Alzurokor and Goszirith Hydrokor. Now I get to do this. Okay. So now, I guess now we have to copy that. Also enables Hydroless mutation NM. Yeah, when I get to put that there, that's pretty good. 900 units in a game versus AI, full units only. Well, if the replay works, maybe send it to me and I will take a look. Maybe I can do something fun. So that's mostly a data entry thing right there. Slav's going pretty haymakers with as Zerg, dude. It's kind of interesting. He signed up as Terran, but he's playing a lot of Zerg. I wonder if he's going to want to change his race or something. Oh, it was a tutorial, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The tutorial being more like... the tutorial being a little bit more, I'm just going to make sure whatever is, I think, acceptable. But I might need to look into what's going on there anyway. All right, so we got about a half an hour before I have to skedaddle, so I'm going to use that time to prepare. Yeah, I'm going to use that time to prepare the next round of Epic, my mapcrap submission here. We'll do some tile work on it and maybe some layouting. I am going to go ahead and start copy-pasting the handling of some of that stuff, and then we will also say... push there. What's up, Fenris?
Prepare for another air.
So let's take a look here. We've got all kinds of modifications where we added some of these things. Doesn't look like we're missing anything. Okay. The one thing I will do is I am going to go ahead, just for the sake of saying that I did it, and we are going to try spawning an Ulgorg. And then probably because I didn't do the... I know why that's happening, actually. That is because the button does not exist on the Alzurokor command card. The Alzurokor command card has the button for the Ultracore, not the Alzurokor, so that's the main thing there. And then Alzurokor. And we also need to do this kind of thing to the Oxel. I'll use this opportunity to also fix Jack's key collision thing that he reported. Where was the... So that was 1014, and then we have to say... Yeah, so this is the Alzurokor with string ID 1014, 1015 for enabled and disabled. And then, I forget our icon ID actually, so we've got to go into here, so that's 929, yeah. We didn't even add the Alzurokor button, so that's really funny. I mean the Hydrokor button. Got a little ahead of my skis there. 1016. Alright, with those buttons actually added there, we should be good. $10 p.m. for you. Are you in the Isle of Man? Are you British? Are you fucking British, boy? Oh. I don't think we... So that is the Alzurokor, that's what it would be making, but we did not... Yeah, we didn't bring the strings over, so that's a bug. I actually don't know what is available for the Goszirith. Yeah, so that's going to make the Alzurokor. And then if we do Goszirith, yeah. Why did the... I'm not really sure why the button doesn't do anything. Like, it shows no string at all, which is really funny. Okay, now it's working properly. Oh, I know why. We just didn't bring... We didn't say have stat.txt in there. Updated. Okay. Only thing I have left to check is whether or not you can use Alzurokors to morph, since that was the first issue that we noticed. Well, not if I choose the Orkody to. Although I guess it doesn't really matter what faction I am, it should still work. Yeah, looks like it's fine. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so... Okay, so we have... We did the new stuff. Should also note that the... Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Goszirith. So, Kafralosk, Gathtalosk. So that's E and G. Zigrazent is Z. Font is D. Shulkroll is C. Almacus is A. Probably have to make Kethrash X then. Kethrash. All right, we are ready to push this. And so we have. Everybody gets to enjoy some new Zerg factional stuff. Oh, I guess I should probably make a quick pull request on the website. I'll let that process for a sec. It's real nice to get some good quality dev done, I tell you. And a thank you to everyone who has been hanging out. If you enjoy factions, then you're going to enjoy what just got pushed to pre-release. And if you're more of a wait till release kind of pal, then just know good things are a-coming. Yeah, it's actually funny. We got a lot of Aussie, Canadians, but no actual British people. Does make me miss Steven, though, when I think about Australian cosmonauts. It was always funny to me that he went by Swarmlord, but wasn't playing Zerg, and then he switched to Zerg, and everything made sense. Like, goddamn, never mind. You're a pretty good Zerg player. Why'd you stop? Why'd you ever not? Shout out to Fastwads, by the way. I believe it's a guy. He is learning Blender, making models. Worked on a drone or Droleth model recently-ish. Pretty cool stuff. The revolutionary fervor. I was talking with a guy who's Quark, who streams as a Protoss British player, which is probably like Alexander's ultimate fucking cursed nightmare, but he's a Brood War guy. Maybe he'd check us out at some point. Become our first Brit. He's just now making... See, he puts the stream on and then he works on Blender models, dude. What a guy. British and Protoss, yeah. You right. Where are you from, Fastwads, if you don't mind me asking? I guessed Britain, but I think actually Central Europe is operating under the same time zone as the Brits usually operate relative to my time zone. So that's probably why my guess was off. So my mapcrap submission features the Imicren tendril versus the Order of the Sacred Saber, and I'm making sure to make this as Protoss of a map as possible. There will be lots of pre-placed stuff that the player will be able to infest or destroy, but if they're able to get their hands on a scribe to infest that, they can, or anything that can create power fields or whatever, like an autocort would be a gold mine. They can actually do a lot with that because they can repower the stuff themselves then. It's going to be a fun little custom mechanic. Not as a mechanic overall, no. That's something I specifically programmed Krieg for. Yeah, I mean, it would be it's a neat thematic mechanic, but you could imagine that being really strong for one race in particular. But you know what that means. Nerf toss. Yeah, stealing add-ons is fun, though. Like, never happens. When it does. When you see it, you'll ship bricks. So obviously this map could look a lot like a lot of blue, a lot of dark blue. So I'm definitely aware of that. I'm going to try to set the middle of the map in particular apart. If I'm able to. See if I feel like making any custom tiles or whatever. Alrighty. So I think this is going to be like negative space. The corners I don't really have a huge plan for. I think they'll just be like scenery or whatever, if I can get around to it. Otherwise they'll just be what they are already. I think that's fine. They don't need to have a playable purpose. They do serve a purpose when you consider they serve a purpose when you consider the like negative space or whatever, the buffer that they create. And in a 1v1 map, having so much airspace be inconsequential would maybe be a problem, but I think it'll be okay. I thought maybe something like that would be required to align the grid correctly for those. I cannot remember if I placed can't remember if I placed or added tiles for handling like stacking the basilica onto itself. I do like when I can do that with cliffs. I will probably attempt that at least. I know it exists in some tile sets, but I can not always remember which ones those are. This will probably end up being a little bit different. Oh, interesting. Isn't quite what I meant. I said it might end up being a little bit different. Okay. One other thing, yeah, the stacked cliff thing over here would be kind of cool if it just went down a ton of levels. That would give the area a little scale to it, I think. And then we could even reveal like the behind the Zerg base area as Fog of War. We could reveal that in the Fog of War layer. We did something like, you know, this or whatever. Right? That would be kind of neat. If it was all stacked up like that, I think that would be pretty cool. Help it feel like you're inside some kind of really upraised platform or a deep underground facility that goes down many more levels. Which you are. That is canonically what's going on here. While I'm on the subject of maps, however, it is probably a good idea to take a look at... ViddyB sent me updates to Potavector and Genesis Trunk Y that I wanted to take a look at. I mentioned the tiles needed cleanup, and he said he would go ahead and take a look. So if I don't see anything super egregious that I can't also just fix myself. Ah! What is going on over here? Okay, well, we fixed that at least. He must have been in a rush over here. Alright, that looks good. I think we'll allow that one. Probably does need some more prettying up in general. Potavector, I think if you look at this layout here, a ViddyB mashup map, upgrade the name. Upgrade it. I agree though. You're gonna wanna bring this down like so. Just to making this a bit more standard. Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary here. In terms of map structure, I guess it's mostly flat outside here, right? Like main natural, double gas third, potity a third. And then over here you've got some interesting avenues, potentially attack or whatever. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can call that a standard bear for now. Double check Gen Y. I was thinking of, I was on my way out of work yesterday, and I was thinking about how BiddyB should, because BiddyB sent me the maps, and I was looking at the message that included them, and I was like, oh yeah, BiddyB's maps. And then I saw like the file name of Genesis Drunk Y or whatever, and I was like, surely you call it like Birth of Dionysus or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, that was the first thing that came to mind. It's maybe a little bit long, but Dionysus Cradle. That's where my brain was going. Yeah, this looks a lot better. I can't even spot anything in particular. These are force-spawn maps with asymmetries, no? Oh yeah, big asymmetries in, let's see, main natural, third mineral only. Yeah, you spawn in the top right, you get access to main natural third with gas. You spawn on the top left, main natural high ground third, admittedly, but mineral only. I guess you have easier access to this base. Maybe this base should be double gas, so that it's a little bit more of an incentive. Yeah, what if we do that? I will opt to do that for BiddyB. I hope he doesn't mind. I'm thinking a lot about the mineral-only extra base down here, right? It's 8 minerals, and so I think the third for Gen Y is... No, the third mineral... Yeah, this also has 8. He does like his ridge separate from the geyser, I've noticed. Fraud. We have discovered fraud. Delete that fraud immediately or your life is forfeit. Exsanguinate the fraud. Alright, I'm a little over time, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce after this, but I will go ahead and push these maps through. I think they're fine. This one's going to go into Beholder's Eye, and we'll see how those ones go. Where the fuck am I? What? Oh, it opened up a new version of it, apparently. Let's go to Class 0, Beholder's Eye, and the Standard Bearers. Okay. Fine. Yeah, we kept the file name, or the files there, which was a bit of a funny one. Because we were like, yeah, we're going to hold these back, but I forgot that, you know, I would need to replace the files, obviously. GG! I will see you guys all very soon. We added 2 factional units, came up with 3 more factional concepts, or whatever it was. The Zethalisk, as well as a few other things. We processed those maps, we placed some tiles for Eye of the Needle. I'll be back soon with more Cosmodev. See you tonight for a donor sesh where I will hopefully implement another Blitzman unit. GG.